Hello again. In this video clip, I would like to spend just a few minutes to talk about a problem that many of our students face, and that is the using of the mark scheme to help you when doing a past exam paper, say for GCSE Maths. In a later video, I will actually do some of the questions we will look at here. So what I want to start with is to say that all our Year 10 and Year 11 students have to prepare for their exams in December, January time, or indeed for the real thing in May, June time of the year. One of the resources they should use, of course, are the past papers or the practice papers available on the website of the exam board. For the new GCSE 9-1 Maths exams, there are not many past exam papers available yet, since it doesn't have much of a history. But there are practice papers available and the mark schemes free from all the exam board's websites. And they are all good to use from your own exam board and from the others. If your teacher were to ask you to do a practice paper and you're short of time, or you'd rather be doing something else, only natural of course, you should be able to find the mark scheme on the internet. So that's a fantastic shortcut. You can just go online, copy out the answer, and give it into your teacher. Great. Homework done real quick. And you can get back to doing whatever else you were doing before you were rudely interrupted. Okay, let's see how this might work in reality with the actual practice paper and the mark scheme. I have downloaded practice papers from all the exam boards so we can have a look at some. I've chosen to look at the Edexcel website, and I've downloaded practice papers from there to my computer, just as the student would do, to see what kind of experience the student might have, just to see how easy the practice paper is to use, along with the mark scheme, which will also be available. So let me share my computer and my screen with you as we go to find a practice paper on my computer. So let me just share my screen with you, and coming up in a moment, sharing my screen with you. It looks a bit probably not very good. So at the top there, I've got a folder called Past Papers, which you may be able to see. And inside that folder, we have got ourselves, let's see, what have we got? We've got AQA stuff. Go down a bit, we've got Edexcel stuff. Open up the Edexcel stuff. Go down past the A-level Maths, A-level Physics, go down to GCSE Maths. Open that. Edexcel, of course, they keep changing everything every so often. So we've got the old stuff, then there's the new stuff, or at least I thought it was new at the time. And then, of course, we've got the very new stuff, and that's going to be called 9-1. If we have a look in there. So if I look for some of the specimen papers just there, called Specimen Papers Set 2 from the exam board, have a look. And yes, okay, so I'm way down. I'm way down. So let's just go up to the top of that. Get that out of the way. Go up to the top of that, and we can see that it's 9-1 Mathematics, Specimen Paper Set 2. And we've got foundation papers, 1, 2, 3, higher tier papers, 1, 2, 3, specimen paper, and mark scheme. So I'm going to choose to look at paper 1 higher on page 97. So I've got to go find page 97 of this thing. And let's guess it might be about there. What have I got? That's 110. Go up a little bit. And 116. Okay, coming down. 90, what do we say? 97, 99, 98. So, all right. So when I come to work with a student on a past paper, sometimes we find that the earlier questions on the paper are easier. And if I want to find some more challenging work, I would go towards the end of the paper and work with the student around about the end of the paper. Like there's 20 odd questions, 21, 22, and these are the quite tricky ones we can expect to find towards the end of the paper. So I'm going to look at question 18 because I found it earlier and I like the look of it, as well as question 17 looks nice, but I thought we'd look at question 18. So question 18 then is to do with LMN, is to do with a right angle triangle. We can see that there. And we have got some information given to us. One angle is a 90-degree angle. PQ is parallel to LM. Whatever the significance of that is, we will be wondering about that. The area of the triangle PNQ is 8 square centimeters, PNQ. And the area of triangle LPQ, L to P to Q, is 16 square centimeters. Right, okay. All very iffy. So he tells us two areas, and then he says, work out the area of triangle LQM. Yikes. Tells us two areas, and wants us to work out a third one. Not very helpful at all. So we've got some figuring out to do there. Okay. But like I said earlier, all we've got to do is go and look at the mark scheme, and we will be fantastically well equipped to go to question 18 whoops, I'm jumping around a bit there, aren't I? There we are, question 18. Now it's on its side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my other screen, because I should be able to find, so if I bring up my other camera, underneath my other camera is the question that we were just looking at, and I could do the question on the paper here, which is there. And of course, let's have a look at the mark scheme, because this will help us to do the question for the teacher, and we don't have to do so much thinking for ourselves. Great. So we've got the mark scheme here. Question number 18, the answer seems to be 48. And great, we just have to figure out the notes now. So 1 mark for identifies that something here equals 2. So PL is 2 of that, 2 times that. Then another mark for a process. So we're thinking to ourselves, well, what's this to do with the question? The question, of course, was there. Now, if this camera should go out of focus, I can tell you, it's supposed to come back into focus if we give it a bit of patience. Otherwise, the fortune that I spent on this camera has been a total waste. Right, so it should come into focus, but sometimes it focuses on this something shiny, and it confuses the camera a little bit. But at the moment, it's behaving itself pretty well. So for the second mark, all we got to do is process to find area of LMN. LMN. So that's that big triangle. So that's a clue. Blah, blah, blah there. And then another mark for completes the process to find the area of LQM, which is what we were asked for. Well, this is what I would call a fat lot of use. Not a lot of use at all. So therein lies the problem that our students are faced with when the teacher simply says, go and do a past paper, or indeed a tutor will say to a student, go do a past paper, and I'll tell you what I'll do, I will send you the mark scheme. Wouldn't that be fantastic? So the tutor sends the mark scheme to the student, and we sometimes forget that actually the mark scheme is frequently, not a lot of use. And the moral of the story is that we have to actually learn our maths off and be able to do our maths, because just looking at the mark scheme is not really the answer. It's not. The mark scheme, of course, is written by examiners for examiners, by teachers for teachers. They're not, mark schemes are not written for students primarily. So they're not the greatest of help. So I'm going to leave it at that, having set up this problem. And wouldn't we love to just get stuck into this question? I'm going to end the video clip at this point. I hope you've enjoyed it. Set up a problem, and in the next piece of video, I look forward to having a go at that question and some of the other questions on that paper. So thank you very much for your attention. Do your thing with this, like it and share it, and do all sorts of things with it. I hope that was of some help. Have a look at my next video for the doing of this question, because this is a nice question. Bye. Bye-bye.